At William and Mary, bold moments define us. We push boundaries and find creative solutions. We take risks and pursue our passions. We ignite curiosity and change the world. At William and Mary, we see bold in action. We challenge what is known, explore what is new, and imagine a bold future. We are, and always will be, a university for the bold.
I was born bold.
Good afternoon, or perhaps early evening if you're on the East Coast like myself, everybody, and welcome to the second series of the evening here at the EGFC SSBU. A whole lot of letters and even more fun. I'm Sepulence, that handsome man is Killa Miles, and we are going to bring you one banger of a series in the form of Mississippi State University up against William and Mary. Killa Miles, going into this, man, I mean, what are you excited to see?
This is the show matches tonight, Sepulence. These are two of the heaviest hitting teams we have in the entire EGF. And Mississippi State are reigning champion, but we'll get back to them in a minute because William and Mary are the challengers today.
Yes.
And, well, William and Mary's got some heavy hitters too, but Mississippi State, they're coming off of a loss. The second time they've been upset by George Washington University, their kryptonite. Now they're looking to redeem themselves here and now against William and Mary.
Yeah, we had the opportunity to cast that last week, I believe, and that was just, I mean, an amazing, phenomenal series. Separated, I think, by 2 points. Yeah, the very last game is just kind of how that tipped on its head. Unbelievable. George Washington, like you said, the true kryptonite to Mississippi State, but Mississippi, they, like we talked about last week, have just such a solid roster down the line. Every single one of their players come out and, you know, we're thinking that's one of their best players. All 5 of their players are one of their best players. So I'm really curious to see who is going to be bringing that heat to the table tonight. I know Mr. Man is going to be starting us off for Mississippi State, and Luco on the side of William and Mary. And oh my goodness, Mr. Man is pulling 0 punches out the gate, bringing out this Sora here on PS2.
Yeah, Mr. Mansoura was a threat indeed as this DLC battle gets underway against Luco. Mr. Man, well, I mean, they got the confirms. They got the nairs into smash attacks. They have, well, some nice spell rotations, but ultimately, they're just trying to find the anti-airs, trying to keep you in the air and off stage if possible.
Yeah, and you know, Sora v Sephiroth, insert the "hey, I've seen this before" meme, because, I mean, obviously, but it's going to be some real action from Mr. Man. Now, last week, we saw Mr. Man do some incredible, horrifying things, truly, with this Sora, and it seems like we're going to see Mr. Man go for these attempts once again, but Luco certainly ready for it. That 6-foot sword is no joke in the slightest. 90% on the board. Sora is pretty stinking light as well, so one half-decent hit from Luco here could find this first stock.
And that is one half-decent hit. That falling nair, it sets up for some nice juggling, but at this percent, it's hard to get the combos. You've got to get a grab to really get anything sort of confirmed, but even then, it's so difficult to get in against this constant barrage of hitboxes as Sora just hangs out off stage, but maybe a little too long as you try to zoom up to that ledge and you're going to get caught.
You were going to get caught indeed. Mr. Man losing that first stock. A lot to fall down the drain. Going to be bringing that fire out instead. But oh my goodness, Luco's not even going to let him touch the ground.
Yeah, I mean, oh, Luco just calling out all of Sora's floaty movement. I mean, it's a little difficult to get a handle on where this character is moving. But once you understand the sort of delayed nature of all of Sora's approach options,
right,
and you can have your aerial out in time to punish it, ooh boy, you're gonna get some meaty punishes. Remember, both these characters are kind of glass cannons.
Yeah, glass cannons a little bit indeed. That's going to be just, I mean, devastating there from Mr. Man, able to find some value, finding Luco's first stock. A lot of back and forth right here, but Mr. Man down by a stock, desperate to turn that around, trying to find the opportunity, but it's going to be really hard because Sephiroth hits like a bus.
Yeah, as you can see, oh, that bus is going straight off the side of the cliff. They're just barely able to get back up in time to slice you right out of the air. Luco, an early for William and Mary to start us off.
Yeah, golly, Luco coming in insanely strong, but Killer Miles, if I can have even a fraction of a thought here and a hunch, I think Mr. Man might go to Roy. If I had to guess, I think that's what we're going to be seeing next. We saw the Roy last week. It was horrifying in every definition of the word. And I think maybe a traditional sword fighter might be exactly what they need to go up against the Sephiroth a little stronger.
Yeah, in my eyes, it was the anti-airs from Luco that really stuffed them out. I mean, there were a couple well-placed forward tilts that stole stocks, but in the end, every time Mr. Man was in the air, it was a ticking time bomb before they get called out. Yeah, just like that. Forward tilt right there. So, I think a more grounded character like Roy, who's going to be in the short hop range, who's going to be dashing around on the ground, dash dancing, I think that is the better call. I mean, you're going to have to deal with forward tilt a lot more, but if you're able to bait it out and be in there for the punish, you're going to get such a bigger opening.
Oh man, there's no save state for Sora to come back to this time. We are not in the correct game for that. This is SSBU to the highest degree, and truly a phenomenal performance from Luco, who I'm not sure if I've seen this player before. The name doesn't strike me as super familiar, so I'm not sure if it's a player I've had the chance of greeting with, but truly, I mean, what a way, like you said, to start a series. We talked about how impressive this team was up to this point, and you know, Mississippi in particular, and then Luco shows up in game one and just demolishes Mr. Man a little bit. Truly, probably the best way to start things off.
Yeah, if there's one thing I know about Luco, it's that they fall into the majority that literally every single Sephiroth player has Luke in their name. Like Luke from the last team, they're everywhere. They're everywhere except as yet again.
Oh!
Ooh, okay. Yeah, no, this is going way back. A big throwback for Mr. Man, going to the ZSS to start us off.
Yeah, the OG ZSS days coming from Mr. Man. This is the player that I remember Mr. Man playing so often, and already, I mean, it's going to be a huge change of pace. I feel like Sora and ZSS perhaps don't have traditionally similar play styles, especially with how floaty Sora is. And don't get me wrong, ZSS is a bit floaty in her own right, but there's certainly a difference between the two. And right now, Mr. Man has to change that play style in order to survive, or Luco's going to be walking away with an early win for WU.
Oof, and that at ledge, that's a kill. And already Mr. Man with a lead, and I think one of the main reasons for that is the flip kick. The fact that you're able to just get out of these juggle situations more or less unpunishable, it's making it really difficult for Luco to meet their main win condition.
Yeah, the win condition is much harder to meet here against the ZSS as it was against the Sora. 82% on that first stock, but Mr. Man coming in hot, trying to farm that extra credit as quickly as can be. And every single hit here is so unbelievably crucial for Mr. Man.
Yes, ooh, going for these landing nairs, trying to get a setup. Shadow Flare. It's going to be called out. I do like how Sephiroth is a character who's able to call out the Zair without a huge overcommitment. It's usually so unpunishable, but you're actually able to get the opening. But the Zair, if it hits, does lead to some big damage. As you can see, you're in a juggle situation here.
That's arguably probably the scariest place to be. Oh my goodness, Mr. Man might even find a stock before losing their first, or second stock, excuse me. 101. Oh my goodness, Luco is in a tough spot for sure. Oh, the iframe's not there to save Mr. Man. Now it is a two-stock tie-up at a 101% differential in favor of Mississippi State. Oh my goodness, this is going to be a tough one for Luco to turn around.
Woo. I love that. Sitting right outside Sephiroth's burst range, the only thing Sephiroth could have done was a fully charged up B. So Mr. Man with the positioning, but the positioning above Sephiroth, not that great when you can't find the way down and you get grabbed. Puts you in a juggle situation, the flip kick barely gets you escape, but even if it's one of the best options in the game, if it's the option you go for every time, right, Luco can eventually adapt.
Yeah, Luco will stop falling for it at one point or another. 85%, so even if Luco loses this stock, all of a sudden they are in so much better shape than they were not even a full minute ago. 138 on the clock. It is crucial they find as much damage as possible, even if they cannot confirm the second stock before losing their own. Unfortunately, they are going to get taken out before they can find even a little bit more of damage, but Luco now in a good spot to take this second stock off Mr. Man pretty early.
Very good spot right here. You remember how early that first stock was taken, Sep?
Yeah.
You can be obliterated if your roll option is red off a ledge. But if you're not even able to land, how are you going to get the ledge trap going?
Oh, Luco goes into the shield there instead of going for an overcommitment. But again, it's called an overcommitment for a reason. There's a 99% chance it doesn't work out. Gonna go for that catch on ledge. But no, still not going to be throwing it out. A great opportunity for Mr. Man to find some damage, but Luco falls right out of it. Only 27% on the board. But Luco's got to find this kill confirmed. There it is. Now we are 1-1 on the board. 27% differential. If Luco wins this, if Luco finds this stock, that guarantees William and Mary the first game win here in the set.
Yeah, and starting it off with that forward throw right there. Some potential. And swinging that forward tilt around. Mr. Man's hungry for it. Get the forward tilt again. Charging up the paralyzer. They all of these things are kill confirms. A tech chase, a paralyzer, they will all obliterate you. And that's why they're going for it again and again and again. Even though it's readable, even though it's punishable, as you can see, they're only getting chip damage.
No, that
the up
could
B?
be, no,
Is that it?
Will be it. Oh, devastating there. Luco getting caught up by the stun and pretty much just followed through, obliterated off the back of it. You hate to see it, but that is going to be a round win for Mr. Man. Well, you hate to see it if you're Luco. You love to see it if you're Mr. Man or a Mississippi State fan. That's going to take us to our third stage pretty early on here. I mean, the first game of the set and stage 3 is already going to be happening.
Yeah, I mean, well, I can only assume this is going to be a swingy one. Mississippi State, well, whether they want to admit it or not, they're wobbling. After dropping an upset like that, William and Mary, they've got to smell blood in the water. What should be a seeded victory? I mean, William and Mary already one of the teams that had the best chance of beating out Mississippi. So for them to see that Mississippi lost last week, they're like, okay, let's get our upset win. But Mississippi State also a lot of pressure on their shoulders. I'd say way more than William and Mary. They know that they can't drop this.
Yeah, this truly cannot be dropped. Mississippi State in week 1, they lose to George Washington, and that was just like you said, a very rough start, about as rough can be, right? There's only one way to have a rough start, and that is to lose. So if they go down 0-2 on the season, that's really going to be a tough thing to claw back from a William and Mary. They are a fighting team, to say the very least, and I think this could be, just like the George Washington series, one that goes all the way to the bitter final stock.
I think so. And those final stock situations, William and Mary and Mississippi State, they've both got the players to clutch out there when you need it the most. But Mississippi State also has some players that, well, for some people thought were upset-proof, and that's already been shown to be not true. The foundations are being cracked, Septilance. And, well, it's up for us to see what resides beneath as we're finally getting into this third game, and let's see who takes the early lead after this first set.
Yeah, it's going to be a salty run back. I mean, I want to see if there's the opportunity for Luco to find a win onto Mr. Man, who, like you said, for a long time was considered unbeatable. Truly a phenomenal player. And it looks like Mr. Man is no stranger to the ZSS. They have not given up on her in the slightest, because right now, Mr. Man is rocking and rolling over Luco, 53% and counting.
Ooh. Sarah right there. This is a very methodical neutral right now, as Luco is trying to scout out how Mr. Man is approaching. But Mr. Man is like, okay, I'm just going to keep approaching. I'm going to keep guessing right. Whew. The coverage right there. Using that one wing to extend that damage, 59%.
Oh my goodness, it's going to be a 40% differential. As I say, it's going to be spiced up just a little bit. What is that, 16% counting, 26? I don't know, don't ask me to do math. I talk about video games. It's going to be Luco coming in. Like you said, I love the utilization of the one wing we've seen so far, especially in the air, trying to catch out that value and catch out this DI. Oh, speaking of DI, it looks like we're going to get absolutely none from Luco there. 137, Mr. Man takes that first stock, only 72%, which, to be fair, you know, not a great spot to be, but things could absolutely be worse.
Look at the jab, too. That frame one jab, so good at covering options like that neutral tech. But the dash attack is just going to be a hard reset straight into the forward air. Full commitment right there from Luco is going to pay dividends.
I think there's no better way to say that, Kilomiles. A full commitment indeed. I think you heard the gasp when it happened. I truly did not expect Luco to pull that out, but they found the second stock that's going to find a great opportunity in order to keep the momentum rolling. Oh, but unfortunately, still a 60% differential. A couple of moves missed here and there, pushing into the shield pressure. I missed that spot dodge, and now we got to get back in. The stun comes through, probably into an up special, and close enough to the blast zone that will take in the stock. Luco turned it around for just a moment, but it was Mr. Man who immediately began to claw it back.
And that charged up B, that almost just stacked on a whole lot more percents right now as Mr. Man is winning the poke war just a bit. Ooh, that up smash out shield as well. Such a good scoop tool right there. They're flip kicking all around this shield. They have no fear.
No fear indeed. I mean, it is Mr. Man going large and in charge, and I just truly don't see a situation in which Luco can win this. I think Mr. Man has done a great job holding the spacing and making it near impossible for Luco to get close enough to really do anything. Luco, every time they get in, they get maybe one hit, but that one hit is almost always traded for somewhere between 3 or 5 from Mr. Man. 98 to 89, but a full stock in the lead. Every hit that Luco tanks is going to make this all the harder.
Look at this right here. Playing around this platform. Luco with the one wing could easily make this comeback. All you need is one big momentum swing, and you saw they got 60% off one combo. But Mr. Man's not going to make it easy for you, and they're not going to make it quick as they keep living on, using the flip kick to get back to ledge.
Oh no, the grab probably into forward throw. Yeah, okay, but no follow-up. I'm surprised by that. One was a forward throw and then just kind of held their ground, held their spacing a little bit. Dang, if this was one stock each, this would be a crazy matchup. But no, it is Mr. Man still a full stock in the lead. Luco gets the kill confirm screen, but no kill confirm. Oh, there it is. The dash attack is sometimes all it takes. The real question, Kilomiles, can Luco take this stock basically one hit from death constantly?
It's possible. As you can see, they've already stacked on 23%. They're looking for these landing nairs, such a buff to damage as well. Forward tilt gonna be safe as you immediately dash away and you charge up the full flare into the F smash. Are they just dead? They're out of here. Home run.
No way! Oh my goodness, absolutely incredible performance from Luco there. I truly, unbelievably thought that was over. The question I asked you, Kilomiles, was entirely a hypothetical, but oh my goodness, the shield break comes through from Luco, and there is nothing to be done. The full charge blast, like you said, it is just an out-of-the-park home run for Luco. Absolutely phenomenal cleanup there.
I can't believe this.
Breathtaking.
And I knew it was happening as soon as the shield break came out. Nothing fancy right there. And while they're in the hit stun of that, you throw out the forward smash as well, but it's not even needed. Wait, did they not even get hit by the forward smash? They just died.
I don't think so, no. I think they just they were at 23%. Look at that, 23.1.
At center stage.
Shield break comes through. And okay, we're just waiting. 23. Up and at it. 70-something. So what was the number? I didn't even catch the number. 87! What? Oh my god. Oh man, hats off to Luco. Amazing. I love it. I love it.
Busted.
Busted, truly. There's nothing else to be said.
It's not the Buster Sword, but it's dang well close because look at that. The reach 2 to follow up on that. I honestly, hats off to Luco for being able to stay in there mentally. Part of being good at a character is knowing how to cheese stocks. And I don't want to call that cheese, but like, you've got to know how to just eke out stocks when you have no right to. How to kill at 0, how to kill at 20. Because when you're in a comeback situation, even though it's not the optimal thing to do, you need to know how to do it for situations exactly like this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was honestly the first shield break stock I've seen in a really long time. I feel like that's something I have not had the opportunity to see quite often. A good, comfortable change of pace. And I've got to say, that was such an incredible game. And also, what a treat to get to see Mr. Man's ZSS again. I mean, that just, it feels like it's been years, eons even, but it was really exciting to get the opportunity to see that come out again and look just as good as it always did. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, but It looked fantastic, but not quite good enough. Or rather, Luco looked even better.
Yeah.
Again and again and again, they would call out these, well, recovery patterns that a lot of people consider like, oh, you don't go out and hit ZSS, they're just gonna flip kick. It's a free way back onto stage. Not if you understand when they do it. Not if you understand exactly how do you do it. Because, I mean, right at the startup, there's a chance, or rather at the end, there is a chance to get the punish. And that's exactly what Luco was calling out with those forwards off stage with the F tilts at ledge. And, well, it wasn't a flip kick call out, it was a roll call out, but still. Monumental stuff from Luco, giving William and Mary the lead over Mississippi State. That's not how it usually starts out.
That's not usually how it ever is, considering even George Washington didn't take a lead on them until the literal last game. So for Mississippi State to be down, this might be the first time I've seen this. I don't want to say ever, but first time in a really long time that I'm seeing Mississippi in any variety of a deficit. So this is really going to be an interesting pace matchup. It's going to be all about each individual game being just as pivotal as the last and as the next. I know coming in next from the side of William and Mary, we have BFD. I'm not honestly sure if I've seen that player before, but you know, I know who we have seen from Mississippi State. It's going to be MIA, certified Mario extraordinaire, and anything with a good Mario in it, that's going to be a good game for me.
Yeah, I love Mario. They make every matchup look even, and BFD was a very proficient Steve we saw from William and Mary, hitting some nice combos, playing around the minecart movement. However, Mario, with the ability to approach with Fireball, to harass with Cape, and obviously get an opening that leads to death, does have a, in my opinion, pretty good matchup against Steve. I mean, at least comparable to a lot of the other cast. So if this combo fiend is able to get in there before the resources start to stack up, if they're able to end the siege before it even starts, then I have a good feeling about Mississippi State regaining some sort of lead.
Absolutely, and MIA in particular, I mean, again, I've never seen BFD play, but I feel MIA against anybody is almost, I don't want to say a guaranteed win, but basically the point is MIA is an incredibly strong player, and I'm very excited to see.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the three-letter battle right here. We got BFD.
I didn't realize.
Yeah, it's beautiful. No, I'm not gonna try and rhyme that. But either way, we're just getting the stage bans, we're getting the button checks out of the way, as soon we will be getting into this match.
Something we can talk about if we want to sit here and hypothesize just while we're waiting, because I believe one of the players had to take a quick bio break. But I believe we have a stage confirmed, Smashville. So if we're looking at Mario v Steve on Smashville, we've both kind of given Mario a small advantage here, just util kit-wise. What should this Steve be doing to make it as possible for them to win as possible? That was almost a question. I think you get what I'm asking.
Well, I feel like constantly harassing with fireballs is important. Using your relatively safe down tilt to poke at the bottom block to give you an edge into Steve's little fortress that he usually sets up is very important. To make sure Steve never feels comfortable, even if you don't run through that block every single time, it still makes them uncomfortable, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. It's all about the comfort levels and forcing somebody out of it. And we gave a huge advantage to, I believe it was Canisius, right? Even though they had lost early, we talked about how great a lot of their players were under that stress, under that pressure, and maybe we're going to have to see the same thing from Mississippi State here. You know, this is a team, as we talked about minutes ago, they're not used to losing. I think I've only seen them lose a series one time. I mean, they are a team that we very often see in the driver's seat, so they are, at least for the time being, under pressure. MIA is going to try to go ahead and pull that back, trying to give them any variety of a lead, which is certainly possible. You know, you only need 4 points. You get 2 for winning a series, and then however many for winning, you know, for the stocks you survive with. So Mississippi, they're down, but they are unbelievably by no means out of it. Not even close. We're only going into series 2.
Yeah, I feel like Mississippi, they've got their heavy hitters in their back pocket. The fact that Mr. Man isn't even considered one of the heaviest hitters on Mississippi State is probably one of the scariest things. I think MIA's performance, though, here is crucial, because MIA is a main point getter for this team. If they go down without too much of a fight, then William and Mary all they need to do is just play the lead, not make sure there's no huge momentum swings. And they put the pressure on Mississippi.
Yeah, and like we talked about, a couple minutes ago, pressure's got to be the name of the game here. I think in any variety, Mississippi, MIA in particular, needs to come out, really just beat down the pressure onto BFD and find the opportunities to get these eliminations, get these stocks early, walk away with as many points as possible, and then the pressure from the side of William and Mary is the pressure of keeping that lead, putting MIA in an uncomfortable position, and hopefully playing that Steve a little more consistent. The thing, the kill confirm I'm thinking for Steve against a Mario could be what we saw, I think it was Pango do last week, where you throw them below ledge and then build kind of a couple of blocks so the recovery cannot break through.
Well, that can work. That can work in very specialized scenarios.
Yeah.
But Mario's up B, luckily, has a hitbox, so it's going to be a lot harder to do that. As you get the down air, one of the best early percent combo starters, and you get another one too, poking at the shield. BFD not able to get comfortable whatsoever.
Yeah, BFD has not gotten a moment to think, a moment to mine, or a moment to play the game. MIA just doing MIA things. Coming in calm, cool, and collected. I love the utilization of the dirt blocks there from BFD and the opportunity to, maybe catch this Mario a little bit off guard. I think BFD's largest hurdle is going to be that cape. I truly think so, especially because minecarts are such an aggressive part of a Steve's kit, and if MIA can send all of them back twice as fast, it's really going to be hard for BFD to engage.
Yeah, it certainly is. As you can see, BFD controlling this center platform, not even going for the strict ledge trap right there. As they call out that Elytra and they try to go for the ledge trap. No, they're not overcommitting, and I love that. MIA tries to go for the up smash read right there, but controlling under this center platform, as you can see, you can more or less build a house right here because you can't fall through that platform with an aerial.
Yeah, we talked about comfortability, we talked about patience, and it truly looks like BFD is trying to play that patience the best they can. Gonna lose that first stock, though, unfortunately. Still 2 stocks left on the board. Plenty of time to turn it around. MIA, though, already racking a 30% combo.
Yeah, gotta respect that TNT.
Oh,
they tried to use the projectiles to get maybe a little bit more, well...
I adore that attempt, though. Honestly, incredible trying to use the flood to push the TNT closer.
Yeah, it's always fun to see. As the flood not going to do any tickling at all against that minecart. That's going to tickle a little bit, though.
Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of surprised that didn't kill, if I'm being honest. That's usually something that we get a lot of value pretty often. The cave is going to catch the flame, and unfortunately not going to catch Mario low enough. The up special now racking up an additional 20-something%, I believe, onto BFD. MIA 120% on that first stock, and BFD danger close to losing their second. Like we said, if anybody is going to pull Mississippi out of a losing scenario, it's going to be MIA.
And they've got the diamonds on deck, but they haven't even gotten a chance to use them yet, Septilance. Finally, diamond tools, diamond dash attack, diamond edge guarding right here. As, they built a little nerd pull right there that Mario lands right on top of. And now, you get the combo started, but not able to finish it right there. But could this be the finisher right here? Going off stage all the way down.
All the way down. I mean, frames away from not being able to grab ledge there. And BFD, it really feels like MIA just has the lineup, just has the appropriate engagements to succeed here. Grab into forward throw, gets Mario off stage again, but you've got to find that kill at one point or another. I mean, it's the kill confirmed that really bit BFD in the BUTT. MIA going to walk away with that first game. I believe all 3 stocks still online.
Septilance, I could not believe towards the end right there. MIA is starting to get such a strong handle on what BFD likes to go for. And you can see why a lot of people, well, they hesitate to challenge Mario's recovery. Even with the ability to literally linger in one spot, you still have to be concerned about the fact that the uppie has intangibility frames in the beginning, a relatively absurd hitbox as you're trying to contest it. And this was the attempt at a ledge trump right here, but by going off stage, you bait them into thinking the roll is safe, but Mario's got the drift to go all the way back for the up smash.
Yeah, the drift for the up smash was, I think, the end of the story there to be told. And I really liked BFD's ledge recovery options, where they'd jump up and they'd build a couple of blocks to predict MIA from finding a lot of damage immediately, but it feels like BFD had everything right except the kill confirms. So like we talked about, that really seems to be kind of the nail in the coffin, as BFD just could not get rid of that first stock. And because of that, Mississippi State is already only a single point behind.
1 point. That's all you need. But this isn't the first time we've seen, well, this victory slipping out of your clutches. Mississippi State, though, if they're able to use this to, like you said, rebuild this lead, then all that crafting, all that mining is going to be for nothing. I mean, you got to build sometime, because it feels like BFD wasn't even able to get their game plan started. They didn't get to craft diamond tools until the 3rd stock Septulence. That's almost unheard of against most characters. But Mario, and particularly MIA, have the skills and tools needed to harass Steve out of any hopes of getting the resources you need.
Absolutely, and that harassment is the name of the game. Like we talked about at the beginning, we were worried about the pressure Mario was going to be able to put down on Steve, and we saw it. I mean, come to complete and total fruition there. A phenomenal performance from MIA. Do you know, does BFD have a back pocket anything, or are we going to be seeing Steve again here in Game 2?
I think it's got to be the Steve. Even if you got 3 stocked, you've got to put your faith in your main. I don't think the Aida? I don't know what I'm going for there, but is always on switching the characters. I think there was a lot of potential right there in the way they were using the blocks, in the way they were building protection underneath the platforms. We'll have to see if they're able to continue that going into that, because that was the one thing that really stumped MIA for a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Stumped MIA for just a bit indeed. Unfortunately, not long enough. I believe we're just waiting for some character selections now. We have a stage. It's going to be Town and Cities. Players really liking their Animal Crossing, and we are just getting that run back. Mario v. Steve. BFD's really got to have to change up the playstyle here to succeed.
Yeah, I mean, ooh, we're running it back. No, it's Town and City, not Smashville. And I do like this a little more. It gives you more space, but ooh, I love that extension off of the minecart right there. And once again, they build under the platform to try and bait MIA in. And then they're ready with the anti-air once MIA makes the jump.
The playstyle change is already insanely apparent. It's much more patient than it was last game, and I think that's going to go a really long way for BFD if they continue. I love the dirt wall build just to mine some materials, and truly, that's already eons better than we saw from BFD there in Game 1. And oh, the iframes! Talk about luck! Oh my goodness, MIA gets up at the exact perfect moment to take not even a lick of damage. Might be able to deal a little bit of damage, though. 2% differential right now, and BFD desperate to find that first stock.
Ooh, they tried to go for the double forward air setup with the back throw on platform. Oh, I thought that was just going to be killed. The blast zones on Town and City so tiny, but you're able to get the up smash, that back air in quite spaced how you wanted it to be, as BFD is down a stock.
BFD is going to be down a stock here. Crucial moment. Oh. Might be able to find MIA's stock if they're lucky, but MIA is so good about racking up damage so quickly. Almost got double caught by the minecart there, but was able to get a little bit of value out of that. The iron, I'm not sure the build completed. I believe it did. I think we saw the sword come out at the end there. Yeah, okay, the iron has made an appearance, which means now we just wait for BFD in an attempt to farm diamond. But Kilamiles, the question on everybody's mind is, of course, can BFD bust out those diamonds before the 3rd stock?
It's possible. At this point, with the percent deficit, I don't think we're going to see it. As you get the ledge trump right there, the cape's so strong for that, and you call out the jump as well, you're able to just barely glide back in there. That was almost a tough read, but these back airs have been a thorn in their side, or rather a whole log. They have been unable to get through this wall of Mario's feet.
Yeah, this wall of Mario's feet have been truly a disastrous matchup for BFD so far. They've got the diamond online. I think they probably hold it till their next stock, right? Okay, well, they're not really going to get a choice. This grab back throw on the very last pixel of the stage is going to kill over 100% like that. BFD goes for the read, really wants to get a kill with that magma cube, and it's just not been able to find it. No way!
Here.
MIA with the showboat stock elimination. They're absolutely flawless. That is not a single stock lost from MIA, giving Mississippi State not only the lead back, but a large one at that. An incredible clean-up kill there from MIA in those final moments.
Oh my god, Septulence. Look at this. They send him off, and they know what the usual option is, and the immediate up B. I like the immediate up B. Immediately jumping can often be a huge overcommitment, but you are going against Mario right there. And maybe in another world, another timeline, you could have banked on the platform to save you, but not that time.
Yeah, that is just Steve's recovery is so telegraphed. It's so simple. I mean, there's so much. There's so little to be done with it, rather. And that cape, we said it the entire time. You know, that is what we were about. That was going to be MIA's secret weapon about BFD. I don't think either of us expected it to end like that, but it was that cape at the end of the day that guaranteed BFD's third and final stock. And I mean, that is a 0 to death. It really is. BFD does not even get to touch the ground. Our fourth 0 to death, our third 0 to death of the day. And I mean, MIA just did it beautifully.
And I will give credit to BFD. They did everything right once they got cape. They went as far up as they could. They drifted all the way back. Mario just has the tools to put you in the grave.
Yeah, Mario.
They were going after the spike too, but
yeah, you can see. I was thinking that same thing. MIA was definitely going for the spike, and then had a second thought about it. Chose to go with the safer option instead. And
hold on. Look at this.
Close.
Look at this. If they hadn't drifted in to try and get back to ledge, which I think was the right thing to do there, then they would have been there in time for the platform. But how would you have known?
Oh my!
Like maybe you would have seen the lantern rising up, but a tragedy in 3 parts, and the 3 parts are back air, cape, gun.
Oh my goodness, that one is stinky, to say the very least. I mean, that is really devastating, and like you said, pixels away from that platform. But like again, how could you have known? I mean, that was just such an unfortunate situation. And now it looks like we're going to be getting Miso from Mississippi and North from William and Mary. So these are both players that I don't know, Kilomile. So maybe you do.
Now North, I can tell you, very terrifying Wii Fit trainer. You talked about Drip Van Winkle. North, I think, is the one person I've seen them. I think in the last time they played, North kind of bodied Drip Van Winkle in their Wii Fit trainer Ditto. Meanwhile, Miso. I have a very extensive knowledge, but Miso might just be a newer player. I know they have a 15-player roster over there in Mississippi, and they don't usually need to use all 15.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I always forget how big of a roster they've got over there. I feel like we're seeing the same fellas. But, I mean, it's just terrifying. Miso, I don't know. I'm going to guess for giggles. I'm going to say it's another Mario player. I don't know. I have nothing to back that up.
Just the end? Now, if I had to really if we're playing the betting game based off of names, I'd have to go for Min Min, because literally bowl on the head. Come on. Min Min, it's got the M, it's got the Miso, got the bowl. It makes sense. This makes sense. You've just got to think ahead. This is why I'm the analyst. Can't keep up.
Sorry, I'm trying to do the quick math of the 13 stages we have seen today. We are seeing Pokemon Stadium for the 5th time. Pokemon Stadium 2, that is. PS2, not the first one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like that's going to be coming out yet again. Now, Wii Fit Trainer, I feel like, does just fine here. Not a character who needs to ride up the stage just as much, even though you still can do that on PS2. Additionally, playing on the ledge, it forces them back to that platform, but playing underneath that side platform for ledge trapping, especially if you're on a character who can do it, it's brutal. That side platform is such a powerful defensive tool for whoever is controlling underneath it. As it's looking like, we're gonna get a little bit of a button check real quick.
I'm also scrolling through my old roster.
You're digging. We're opening up the archives.
I'm trying, but I don't think
the
Miso
ancient
was around.
scribes wrote of Miso long ago, or maybe they're a new player.
I can't find anything about Miso, so I'm gonna assume that they're a new player. And if they aren't, I never saw them because I don't have anything on them.
Again, that's the problem with Mississippi. They've got this huge roster. I'm sure they play in plenty of events. I know all schools do.
Yeah.
So they don't always need to throw out these, I don't want to say lesser skilled players, but they're not bad. They're just competing with the likes of Yosefu and MIA. But Miso coming in here on the Ike is going to be stuffing out this refit trainer if they can as we get the hand warmer going. We're not going to... Yeah, probably going to go back to cameras in a second, but this does give us a little bit of an opportunity as some nice platform movement right there with the up airs.
Movement, I have to agree. I was just about to say that's some great platform movement indeed. And now that we've got a little bit of a prediction, now of course Miso by no means has to go Ike. That was just a button check, so they could definitely spice it up. And as we don't know who they play, they could bring out somebody else. But while we're looking at Ike v Wii Fit Trainer, I'm really curious to see what an Ike can get done here. This is going to be interesting because Wii Fit Trainer, the whole name of the game is distance. It is longevity. It is use projectiles, deal as much damage as you can. And Ike, the antithesis of that, has to be up close and personal to deal any variety of damage. Ike has no long distance moves. So I feel like if we are going into that matchup, this Ike really might struggle.
It might struggle to get that, like, close the distance, but
Right.
once you're in the mid-range, not quite the boxing range, because, you know, Wii Fit hits like a truck, but once you're in that sort of mid-range, you're falling on top of them with an aerial, Wii Fit doesn't really have disjoints. You've got to play very safe. You got to play this basing game, because if they're naring on top of you, sometimes you just got to respect it, as that's an immediate side B to open it up, but the deep breathing is already online from North. They want some early damage.
Yeah, they're looking for some early damage indeed, and the deep breathing not only heals you for a little bit of percent, but also gives you a damage increase for, I believe, 6 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. So, like you said, looking for early damage, but, I mean, it looks like that's all they're going to find. Still at 0.0%, has Miso up to 90. This is what I was worried about. Miso cannot find the opportunity to get in, and there's an opportunity. There's a shot, but a short hop back air is going to send Miso right back out into the blast zone. Now the pressure is on as Miso racks 130. The Salute the Sun is not going to find even a lick of damage, but it looks like North might not need it. 150. That number is just going to continue to go up. North large and in charge, but here's Miso's time to strike.
Yeah.
Oh, just kidding.
Yeah, that forward tilt gonna poke you straight on out of there, and it feels like North just has perpetual deep breathing at this point, Seth. And that's one heck of a challenge if you're trying to close the distance. You can see they're approaching with these forward airs, but it's almost not even necessary. But once they got the hit, ooh, that's 76% unanswered.
Yeah, 76% unanswered, and just nothing to come off the back of it for either party here. We're seeing Miso starting to take a bit more damage. Oh, going for those heavy breathings, those deep breathings, trying to get the value out of them. But, you know, of course, the more you use them, of course, the longer it takes to come to fruition. And I think Miso is trying to take advantage of that. Finally has North off stage. North, as I say it, though, going to go right back to that neutral play. And it's about to become Projectile City all over again.
Yeah, it really feels like Miso can't get the opening they need. I mean, North is kind of getting out of the kill confirm range for Ike. Even if you hit the perfect hitbox in air, it's still going to be very tight, and now it might not be existent at all. They're not able to hit the 2-frame as well, and going off stage as Ike is a very strong commitment.
Strong commitment. Miso going to be able to find some great value there. Takes out North's second stock, but you're still, I mean, essentially a full stock deficit here right now. And I wish Miso would perhaps rely on the counter a little bit more. I think it could have been huge right there in particular, but of course, I don't think they expected that option to come out from North, who is now a full stock in the lead.
Yeah, and I like the aggression, the speed that Miso is going in with. And it would be great if North, well, had an approach to stuff out. Now you can see Miso's playing a little more defensively. You land on their shield, you're going to get up beat. However, that's not quite enough when you're this far down. You need to find a way to get this stock early. 78% already. The juggle situation, one more could be a kill.
One more could certainly be a kill, but it's going to be that header that opens up a little bit of space for North. Unfortunately, the follow-up is not there when they need it, and Miso gets saved by no, but no! Maybe not. Oh, man. Well, as a wise man once said, we absolutely take those. Not the way we want to watch a series end, but the way a series is going to end.
This is why I said You need to be very careful going off stage. Maybe it was muscle memory, maybe it was over-aggression. Either way, Miso fast fell that nair, which meant they had no hope of making it back. When it looked like they might have had something with that hit from the up B, I thought maybe they were saved, but it was not to be.
I think
you can see.
Oh, go ahead.
Just that nair, trying to get that set up. But at that point, at 120%, you're not going to get anything but a juggle. And Wii Fit is kind of scary to be underneath at times. I mean, Ike is even scarier to be above, but North has shown their defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was kind of theory crafting, whatever you'd like to call it, about what I think Miso could do different in order to help Mississippi State net a couple of extra points here. But I think, it's the... Thank you, Devin. It's the shield there that bumps Miso a little bit further away, therefore ledge and losing the stock. That does make a little bit more sense. But my original point is I think Miso should play a little bit slower, intentionally so. I think they're trying to go a little bit too fast to meet the pace of North, but if they let North come to them, that may work out a little bit better in their favor.
And I don't blame them for throwing out all these aerials, because if you're not really confident in your ability to react to header, you can hit it back if you time it correctly, or just have an aerial out perpetually. As they miss the tech chase right here, but the down throw is going to set up for even more even percents right now.
Yeah, and Miso, at least to me, it feels like they are slowing it down a little bit, and that seems to be working well. Gets the perfect shield on the soccer ball, on the header, but that's not going to be quite enough to really get you a stock. Oh, just as quickly as Miso can find the lead, it will be taken away by North. Deep breathing comes out, gives you that damage boost, a wee bit of heal. Can North use that to their succession, though, or is it going to be Miso taking that first stock? It may not be. Miso going to make it back. Salute the Sun is caught out, and that might kill North, but yeah, all the way to the other blast zone. Unfortunately, it is not going to.
At this time.
Oh!
Careful, they had the fully charged Salute the Sun, and it's a great stuffing tool right there saying, nah, I don't want to deal with you. As that's exactly what that cleave does, as Miso takes the lead for the first time.
Like you said, the first time the lead is taken, but it looks like North is looking to get rid of it just as quickly. The header's going to miss. Will the Salute the Sun follow through? No, a secondary header into, I believe that was an up air that happened so quickly, I think I missed it, but it is done nonetheless. And uh-oh, that is never a good sign. A bit of lag is coming through, and it looks like it is just lag. Not a disconnect quite yet. Oh, unless somebody's losing internet quick.
Miso, keep that shield up.
Oh boy, Miso soup. Oh, Rutro. Oh man, that is going to be... I don't know who DC'd. I don't even know what the rules are on that.
Yeah, we're going to figure that out right there. But while we do, I was liking what I was seeing from Miso towards the end right there. I mean,
it was Miso who DC'd.
It was a slower paced game, but all of the moves felt like they had a little more intention behind them. I mean, just approaching with fairs out constantly is better when the opponent is actually approaching. And that's not me calling out North for not approaching. That's being optimal right there, baby. But it still can... Well, I'm not sure the fairs being perpetually out was always the right play.
Right. I agree. And I think we were actually in like a really good scenario to have a DC, as I think they were both even stocks at 0%. I don't think anybody had even a little bit of damage, so if we are going to run it back, this is the best way to do so. It looks like, yeah, okay, both players have agreed. 0% on the board. I think they both had one stock left. Or maybe it was two stock. They know. We'll find out in a minute. They know. So they'll tie things up, and yeah, okay, so the true winner here is Nintendo, I guess, as a wired player disconnects from an online game. You hate to see it, but as is the way of live production, my friends. We'll be jumping back in just a minute, and I think if Miso can play the way they were pre-DC, there's a really good chance they can turn this around. That was two stocks.
Yeah, it's possible. Ooh, tries to get that grab right there. They had the read, but they weren't quite ready to pull the trigger.
Yeah, not quite ready to pull the trigger, and unfortunately... Oh, 26-26. We're actually tied right up. There's no unfortunates about it. North getting a little bit aggressive here, able to find a combo, but being above Ike is a very dangerous place to be. North learning that the hard way. Oh my goodness, the damage is racking up over time. The forward air takes him out, but Wii Fit's got a pretty darn strong recovery, and It's going to be a lot of pressure on now. North has some room to build. It has to be careful. We fit, at least in my opinion, a lot lighter than you may expect. So North may be taken out here. Not only are they lighter than you expect, but Ike, very similar to our friend Crom earlier today, hits like a bus.
Yeah, especially as they get that forward tilt right there already. Some amazing percent building up for Miso, but the deep breathing is going to make it so easy to kill. Got to avoid that up air, but the back air out of shield, throwing the legs back. As always, they go for the cancel on the platform, but that just puts you right above North when you miss.
North trying to tie things up pretty quickly here. Honestly, I think it would have been an insane play to just release that second neutral B charge just immediately there. He would have never expected it. The header going to catch Miso. I expect that salute to come out any second, and it will. North is going to be able to tie things up. One stock alive on both players, both at 0%. The pressure is on. Miso taking a lot of damage early here. The combo yet to be dropped.
All right, you've got the volleyball right there. The header gonna connect. Miso is dropping down in percent. This is your big chance to stop the lead from building up, but North is unrelenting. And finally, you able to connect the header, but they're still not dead. North gets one last little chance.
Oh no!
But the forward tilt, the constant pressure is eventually going to cleave through Miso stock as North takes it.
Oh my goodness, North just goes in, like you said, the constant pressure there to keep Miso down. Absolutely incredible, and I believe that is the end. That's a 2-0, right? If I'm not mistaken, that is just North coming in strong.
Yeah, I gotta give credit. Credit where credit's due. It's easy to always have your eyes on the approacher, but North was so good at stuff in the mat, and when they got their opening, whew, did they make it hurt. Even though Miso got some very good up air strings, you gotta keep your eyes on that. North was overall just way more consistent in the punish game, and with the deep breathing online, they were able to land the kill moves in that little window.
Yeah, landing the kill moves is, of course, you know, the name of the game. Quite literally, you cannot win without landing some decent kill confirms here or there. And I get what you mean, Killer Mouse. You made a comment right at the beginning of this series, or the beginning of this game, rather, where you were talking about if there's anybody to give Rip Van Winkle a run for his money, it's going to be North, and I see it. I get it. I mean, that was some of the best We Fit gameplay I've probably ever seen. That was very strong, very consistent, and I think what really sets North apart is that pressure, that consistent ability to not let your opponent play the game. I mean, I feel Miso did their best when they were in charge, but North worked so hard to make sure Miso never was. And I really think that's what gave North that leg up to win.
Yeah, I agree with you right there. There was so much hard work in making sure, even though Ike had maybe a arguably stronger punish game, I have to put my bet on North. It was still always North in charge. I decide where this interaction happens. I decide who's getting hit. I decide all this. And even though they weren't always right, they weren't always obeyed, it was still always consistent. Like, more often than not, then they were getting what they wanted. And what they wanted was the first hit. What they wanted was deep breathing online, getting a double hit in air. It's meaty every single time you get hit. And as we're going to be seeing, might be even more meaty play coming in here. Let's see who's coming in next.
Finally, a recognizable name from William & Mary. It's Outer Rim, a name that I finally recognize from their roster. And then I don't think Mississippi has said yet who's coming in.
Yeah, we're not going to see that quite yet, but Outer Rim, you're quite familiar with. I mean, I've seen him too. The amazing Robin. But apparently they got a Bila secondary. I think the Robin at this point, you want to close it out, is most likely going to be the pick.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm not positive, but I believe that Outer Rim is the only Robin player in the EGFC. I'm not 100% sure on that, but if they aren't the only one, they are one of very, very...
Yeah, I do believe they are. However, another quite rare character coming in here.
Once known as the best Belmont in the world.
Yeah. It's going to be Yotafu. Yeah, this is going to be quite a slug match. I feel like both of these, I would classify them more as trap characters than just pure zoners. The fact that they always have a projectile out, but the projectile is out to lead into something else. It's not, the projectile is not the be all end all. That's the mark of a good master of these characters.
Yeah. Yeah, and I want to see if we're going to get some action coming out from Yosefu in particular. So we saw some great value in terms of, you know, what am I trying to say here? We saw some great value in terms of Outer Rim's stage ban, initially banning FD, which makes a lot of sense because that stage, more than any other in the game, is insanely predictable. It's incredibly easy to go through, find stocks, especially with the spam ability, the spammage, as I always like to call it, from the Belmont family, which Yosefu is probably playing. So I think stage pick may be the most important thing to happen right now, because it needs to be a stage where Outer Rim can play Robin or can play Byleth, because if it's a flat stage with little to no recovery options, Yosefu's gonna run away with it, almost a guarantee.
Yeah, every character that's even in contention right now is known for impeccable ledge trapping, and more often than not, they have a great reversal from ledge too. If they're able to get a cross out, if they're able to get some Holy Fire, if they're able to get some Arc Thunder, all of those can lead to a reversal at ledge. Suddenly you're in the exact position where you don't want to be, but they're also so good at ledge trapping, like I just said. So like, it is a weird battle that we're going to be seeing, as both of them, once one of them is on ledge, it is a never-ending cascade of mind games infinitely folding in on themselves as they each try and get through some just extraordinarily powerful ledge game.
Yeah, and oh wait, this is gonna be some great action here in just a moment. We hear the select that game through, and there are literally no surprises across the board. We've got the Belmont versus the Robin. Outer Rim, the Yosefu. William & Mary currently in the lead, and Yosefu, one of very many strong players from Mississippi, with a serious likelihood to turn.
Yeah, they're able to hit him quickly with the whip. With the Arc Fire, trying to clank with the Holy Fire, but really it's been Simon controlling the game the entire time. They just keep getting knocked farther and farther from the stage, and even though Outer Rim is able to get back on, it's not for long, like I said.
Yeah, not
You've got to get a reversal.
You've definitely got to get a reversal here, and I want to talk about as well how I thought it was unbelievably important for Outer Rim to pick a stage with a lot of recovery options. I think Battlefield is one of those best examples. You don't just have to climb up on top of ledge. You've got very many ways to get back into an engagement. However, Yosefu, I mean, an expert in the craft, and I don't even know what just happened there.
They might have run out of charges on the up B. I can't claim to know exactly how Robin works, so I'm not going to try and speculate too much. As the cross, it gets a double hit and sets up into the... This is 66% without any sort of physical moves. Finally, Outer Rim finds an answer.
Outer Rim finally, like you said, getting some value there, trying to catch Yosefu out with a lot of damage, but Yosefu so good at closing that gap, getting hyper aggressive and keeping Outer Rim off stage, which is exactly how a Belmont needs to play.
Yeah, and Outer Rim really hasn't been able to get the better edge of this. Gotta remember though, Mississippi is down very slightly. If Yosefu's able to get the edge here, it's crucial, as you do get off the top with the Levin sword. Ooh, but is that a shield poke? I'm not really sure, but either way, Outer Rim's in disadvantage because of it.
Yeah, out of disadvantage indeed. And Outer Rim, oh, I was just about to say how important it was to hold on to that stock, but I didn't even get the words out before Yosefu sent that stock to the Shadow Realm with the rest of them. It's just, I think the name of the game right now is Outer Rim does not appropriately know how to handle these engagements, cannot get in through these projectiles. Yosefu has identified that fact and is taking unbelievable advantage of it.
Getting that landing right there into the best extension. You got to remember the tip of that chain is incredibly powerful for Simon and Belmont, or Simon and Richter rather, as take a look at this. Yeah, knock them straight out and boom. Bada bing, bada bop. Just demolished.
That whip is so strong, it's insane. Such an incredible ability. And that, I believe, does ties things up 11-11, because that's going to be 2 points for Mississippi State, 1 point for William & Mary, just due to the stocks taken. And now it's going to be 11 to 10. No, never mind. Ignore me. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, 11 to 10. The case in point, Mississippi State, they are finding themselves in the lead for first time in a long time. It's been very back and forth. They've really been struggling to keep these proper engagements. But like we said, Yosefu, an insane, consistent player, very impressive one at that. So I suspect Yosefu might even take this lead a little further.
And the one word I would use to describe him, option coverage.
Yeah.
You throw out the Holy Fire, they jump over it. You go up with the up air, they air dodge through it. And then you're there with the up B immediately, your fastest option to punish them. That's pure coverage right there. They picked every right option right up until the very end, overcommitting with that air dodge in. I mean, Outer Rim's defense is not bad. Yosefu is just better.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%, like you said. Yeah, Yosefu is simply just better. We say it every time we see him. We'll say it again. At one point, the #1 Belmont player in the world. So very clearly knows what's going on. Very clearly is comfortable with his character of choice. And that is just something that kind of carries in with every performance we see from Yosefu, is just that true understanding of the character and the game as a whole.
Yeah, as we get to thinking.
Oh.
State.
It's another first today. We are going to be going over to Yoshi's Island.
Huh.
That's
now, I'm not the reason people usually go for Yoshi's Island is to get platform extensions and to kills off the top. That's the name of the game over there. And I know Simon is known for his kills off the top. And I know Levensword can get some amazing extensions with carrying you with arc fire up like a little staircase, up, 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 and out of there. I'm just trying to think of who it would benefit more. And additionally, the slants, I think, benefit Robin a little more than Simon, because Simon's projectile is a little bit more linear. We'll have to see, though, as we get into this game, how this little change develops.
Pressure's on already. Yosefu just doing Belmont things, projectile sitting out the gate, trying to make it to Outer Rim, can basically not even touch the ground, 42% and counting. Yosefu yet, scratch that, has finally taken some damage here.
Arc fire, a setup right here. You're able to maybe try and combo the read a jump that's not going to come into fruition. Instead, it will be the trading fires, preventing your own ledge trapping, but not really getting much off of it. The up B out of shield, though, the greatest reset that Belmonts have. I think that's one of the main edges that the Belmonts have right here. Woo!
Oh my goodness! I think one of the main edges the Belmonts have right here is just the fact Yosefu playing them. Oh my goodness! Absolutely phenomenal setup there to find that first stock, but Yosefu already 107%. The arc fire comes out, but Holy Water into cross, into Holy Water will rack up quite a bit of damage onto Outer Rim as well. Oh my goodness, getting comboed into oblivion right now, struggling to even make it back onto stage.
Well-timed roll, though, from Outer Rim to get right on top of Yosefu, but with that reversal right there, you're able to take out Yosefu's first stock. It's even.
What a weird interaction. I did not think Yosefu was just going to dance into the blast zone quite like they did, but definitely seems to be that way. Outer Rim just being stuck against a Belmont. One of the most frustrating things in the entire game, in my opinion, is there's so little you can do when they start comboing you like that. And I think Outer Rim's job right now is to take as many stocks off of Yosefu as possible. Try to make that lead as small as you possibly can.
And that long-lasting projectile obliterating your stock right there. The axe tearing right through you, as at this point, you're able to avoid the arc fire. The up B gets you at a disadvantage. Again, Yosefu, the fact that you're able to use up B as a combo tool so consistently is occasionally punishable, as you saw with the back air right there, but they're getting away with it more often than not.
Oh, wow. The up special through the cross to rack up a bit of additional damage there. Really incredible. I've got to say, Outer Rim just has to be spacing these jumps a little bit better. The amount of times we've seen them jump directly into a projectile, I mean, it's got to be in the 100% at this point, additional damage from the jumping into these projectiles.
And Yosefu has the lead, or the lead rather. They got the air dodge as well. Now pressuring the shield with that down air. They're just barely able to follow them up, but Outer Rim's able to land safe and sound. Gets caught by the back air though. Axe flying down, they're able to avoid it. How are they getting back though?
Oh, Unbelievable luck for Outer Rim that axe expired, because that would have been an absolute kill confirm, but it's the cross. No, maybe not the kill screen, but not the kill confirm. 152 to 107. It is the holy water into the whip, just like last game. That's going to put it down. Absolutely incredible performance there from Outer Rim, but to the surprise of nobody, Yosefu, best Belmont in the world, walking away with that game win.
Yeah, not at all. Just look at this. Perfect coverage right here. As you cover the roll, they can only get up or jump, and then they get obliterated. I thought it was it right there, though.
I did as well, honestly. And it's truly devastating just how, like I mentioned, how many times Outer Rim jumped into a projectile, jumped into an axe, the cross, the water. And I truly think at the end of this series, it maybe added an additional 200, 250%. So maybe just going back, spacing these jumps a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more different. That doesn't really make sense, but I think you get what I'm going. I think Outer Rim did meet, you know, a technical win condition. They took as many stocks as they possibly could, and this game is by no means out of reach for William and Mary. They're only down by 4 points.
Yeah, I mean,
5 points.
We have seen stranger things happen. We definitely have.
Absolutely.
But either way, Yosefu taking the momentum back from Mississippi State. We've seen Mississippi State go very close with a lot of players, a lot of teams, and that has been their detriment in these clutch situations. So now that the pressure is on William and Mary to clutch, we'll see if they're able to keep this lead alive or if William and Mary can get yet another upset win in the books.
It would be an EGFC first, and I'm almost positive of that, for Mississippi to lose 2 weeks in a row. That is something we have not seen in a very long time, if probably ever. I truly don't know, but I do know that Mississippi State University will be bringing in Connor Sanders, captain of the team, absolute powerhouse Yoshi player, and it is not yet confirmed who William and Mary is bringing in. I think something we need to talk about as well is a tie is technically possible here. If William and Mary's player wins by a single stock 2 games in a row, that's 14. A tie is possible. Don't ask me to do the math, but I know that it is. So we very well may be getting a tiebreaker. I believe a tiebreaker is simply one more best of 3, right? Both teams sub in their best player, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe that's just the end. Yeah, that's just the wrap up. So we would have one more best of 3 on hand, but let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Really, they've still got, you know, not quite a mountain, but at least a little bit of a hill to climb.
Yeah, I mean, William and Mary, they've been putting up a good performance so far, but it feels like even though they had such a strong start, it's just been slowly slipping away from them. Like, they held on to it a little too tight, and they lost stamina, they lost momentum, and they weren't able to keep Mississippi State from snowballing down, as we have, like you said, Connor Sanders coming in. We saw them on the Yoshi last week, looking great, as usual, but against the Incineroar, they weren't quite able to hold their own. The same Incineroar who I think eliminated them last season, too. I mean, that Incineroar's been the pain in their side. And I'm not saying, oh, go Incineroar, an easy win, Connor Sanders. No, I think it's a more player-to-player thing. Yeah, but either way, it's still going to be pretty hard to contest with this Yoshi, who I consider to be one of the more consistent characters in the game.
I agree. Absolutely. And Killer Miles, tell me if you recognize the name Claytron. They are being subbed in as the anchor for, not subbed in, they're being put in as the anchor for William and Mary. And actually, my man Rip Van Winkle, he was in chat and did predict this. He said it was going to come down to Connor Sanders versus Claytron. Do you know anything about Claytron by chance?
I should, but I'm kind of blanking here. I'll be honest.
Me too.
However, well, if it was predicted, if it was ordained by the fates so long ago, I have to assume there's a reason for that. I have to assume that, well, Claytron comes in clutch when you need him the most. So we'll see if they're able to, well, put on the show for us tonight. Either way, though.
Okay, so getting Connor Sanders is a Yoshi player, and we did just hear from Prod that they're perhaps Claytron maybe a Mewtwo player, which would be really interesting because, last time I was casting for EGF SSBU, there were no Mewtwo players. And if Claytron brings out a Mewtwo, that means there's at least 2 now. Because there was Pokeblue last week, and Claytron maybe bringing out Mewtwo as well. That Mewtwo v Yoshi. Killer, what are your thoughts on that?
I think Mewtwo's got a lot of meaty hitboxes that can really disrupt the double jump armor. I do think Mewtwo is also extraordinarily light and big. And these are 2 things that have been like, I mean, that's day 1 commentary stuff right there. But it's still so applicable. Even to this day, Mewtwo players are begging, pleading, Nintendo, just one more patch, make the tail smaller. It's not going to happen. As Yoshi is just going to be able to ladder Mewtwo up, and out of there if they get the chance. So you've got to make sure you play around. Make sure you are not walking into these forward tilts, these up tilts, anything that can set up for an up air, because that might just very well be your stop.
Yeah, anything that begins with the letter T, just avoid it. Avoid it like the plague. And now it's going to be, okay, yeah, Yoshi v Mewtwo here. This is going to be a really fascinating matchup, one that I, full disclosure, am not very familiar with. These are 2 characters. Okay, I definitely see Yoshi a lot more, but I don't think I see either of them often. And Claytron has some big shoes to fill, has to win both games with at least, one of these games has to be one with at least 2 stocks. The other one can be one with a single stock. A 3-stock would be just the bread and butter that William and Mary needs, but up against a powerhouse like Connor Sanders, that is unlikely. Not impossible, but unlikely.
Unlikely indeed, as looking around for that little... They're searching for the egg confirms, because you can combo off of it. It's a good poking tool, but they went very aggressive right there. Going for the disable off after that little bit of stun. That side be a very powerful tool in Mewtwo's kit. The fact that it goes through shields, the fact that it disrupts your momentum completely. It's quite tough to deal with, but that Nair out of shield is going to be the bane in Mewtwo's side. I don't think there's a way that you can space an aerial around it.
It's pretty much just been the Nair show for Claytron so far, and honestly, if it ain't broke, you know what I mean? So it seems like it's really farming a lot of free damage for Claytron, but every time they get some Nair damage, they take a lot more in return. They're going to be able to make it back to the stage for Connor Sanders. Oh my goodness, not going to let him touch their feet back to the ground. Connor finding that first stock early, only 95% on his own.
And a good read right there on the up B. The up B's very low lag, but that doesn't mean you're that safe. As, Connor Sanders goes for the punish right there. They're able to continue this, but where does Mewtwo get this kill? Mewtwo's got some strong hitboxes, sure. Some very strong smash attacks, but the forward air, the claw is what I'm looking for.
Yeah, or another back air. We saw the attempt at a back air. It took Connor quite far into the blast zone, but not far enough to confirm that stock. Connor's 136 and counting, but 70% extra credit right now. Absolutely incredible. And Connor's not even in a real death zone yet if Claytron can't get any close. Okay, there it is. The claw makes its appearance, and Claytron putting that first stock away. If Connor wins this, even with 1 stock left, it's going to become that much harder for William and Mary to claw their way into a win.
Yeah, it certainly is at this point. You gotta be scared, you gotta be cautious. Connor Sanders giving a lot of respect to this Mewtwo, but that just gives Claytron more opportunity to read into these habits.
Yeah, I'm reading for the habits. Maybe the name of the game. What a great catch into the forward air! And Connor takes Claytron's second stock and rips it in half before our very eyes. Now Connor, a phenomenal lead online over a stock and counting. And Claytron really struggling to find the opportunities to engage. Like you said, Yoshi, just such a consistent character. And Connor, I mean, a true master of Yoshi if I've ever seen one.
Yeah. Just jumping right off that platform right there. Not going to trade with that Shadow Ball. Still, the grounded approaches are doing dividends for Connor Sanders. It's still so tough, though, to avoid dropping that shield when the Nair touches you and grazes you as you get spiked down again. That hitbox is wherever you want it to be.
Yeah, that last interaction was a bit funky. I hope we get a little bit of a replay on that. I want to catch it. I don't know. I just want to look at it for a second. That was so odd how Claytron was above Connor and then somehow got spiked straight down. Yeah, what? It was
the egg. It was the egg that popped them up right into the hitbox. It interrupted the back air and put them right in the correct spacing. Look at that. Winding up and bada bing, bada boom.
They're not even touching. They're not even making contact.
Look at the tail. Look at the tail. Look at the tail.
Oh my goodness. just... I don't know if I want to call that unlucky or incredibly calculated from Connor Sanders there. I mean, that is an incredible cleanup.
The tail. The tail.
You talked about those hitboxes.
This is really just a tale of two tales right here. I mean, we saw some great mileage using the back air, but honestly, it's the noggin that's really given Claytron a run for their money. Just getting, I mean, 2 spikes for 2 kills, plus kill on the side too. I mean, Connor Sanders is doing a great job because, yeah. Wait, that's 3 spikes. I completely forgot about that one.
All 3 stocks taken were via forward air from Yoshi. And I just can't get over the last one. Oh my goodness. And it looks like the possibly final stage of the evening is going to be Battlefield. But let's talk about that. I mean, just that Nair gets completely negated by the forward air there from Connor Sanders. And had the Nair connected, perhaps Claytron could have lived a little bit longer. But it's just taken offline entirely by Connor.
I mean, one of the most important things with Yoshi's Septilance is Yoshi has the highest airspeed in the game. So it's so easy to overcommit when you're going in. It's so easy to misspace your aerials. We didn't really see that from Connor Sanders. We didn't really see it at all. They, in general, just found, well, foothold after foothold after foothold. I feel like they're holding back. They like go all the way in and then pull back. And they don't stop midair, but whoa, this is tough right here.
Yeah, a bit of a character swap if I've ever seen one. Going to be bringing out the Chrom here in the late game. I do think this makes a little bit more sense. Chrom's hitboxes are a little bit smaller than Mewtwo's, but that's exactly what I'm worried about. Unbelievably so. That as soon as Chrom gets taken off stage, that's almost a guaranteed death.
Yeah, and as you can see, Connor Sanders not afraid to do anything about it. And here's the thing, now you're a stock up. If Claytron wants to go for a stock trade, you're happy as can be.
Yeah, very much so.
Ooh, Claytron.
Oh, getting a little bit of value here, falling a little short, goes up and over that forward smash, and now has Connor, you know, I'm not going to say on the ropes, but off stage a little bit more consistently than we were able to see last season.
Yeah, at this point, Connor's flexing that movement just a little bit. Gets the up B out of shield. Bit of a nice punish, but
nope.
Even with some nice micro-spacing with the walking, you're not going to avoid these aerials as Yoshi just keeps coming at you, a freight train.
Yeah, this Yoshi, I mean, just absolutely not afraid to get up close and personal. And also, it's important to note that, okay, especially now, but I was going to say, it is no longer possible for William and Mary to win, as we needed Claytron to get 2 3 stocks in a row to win it. But now down to that final stock, here's an opportunity to take at least one, to get that value and take that stock off of Connor Sanders. So that actually takes double digits away from Mississippi State as well. A huge opportunity there, but unfortunately, William and Mary are not going to be walking away with a win here today.
Ooh, and look at this. Ooh, extending the combo with the egg. It's just a constant, non-stop barrage of little dinosaur parts everywhere. As finally, you're able to get an opening. But the tech on platform saves Connor Sanders. Ooh, the shield pressure right there with the forward smash.
Claytron is probably dead.
Yeah,
yep,
they were...
Ooh, that hurts. That hurts.
They got caught in the side B out of the mash Septilance, and then they went to do the up B, and then they just did the upwards variant of the side B. It hurts to see it, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Connor Sanders leading their team to victory this time. Mississippi State avenging their previous loss. Like you said, never losing twice in a row here as they get a rather dominant scoreline over William and Mary.
Yeah, a dominant scoreline indeed, which is incredible to think of how close things were at the beginning of this matchup. I mean, absolutely phenomenal across the board.
Yeah, and even though it was very close, I do just want to take a minute to look at this. I love that drag down right there. Sensing that they're committing, and you're like, okay, how do I get a kill from across the stage? I know. You pull out the dash right here. Oh, it's a shore hop instead, but regardless, you're still going to get dragged straight into the next situation, into the noggin flogging.
Oh man, this shield break was probably the highlight of Claytron's performance here. And Connor, was already at 120, 130%, so I think the stock was going to be taken relatively soon one way or another, but truly just a solid performance there from Claytron. And somebody's got to find a way to dismiss Connor's forward airs because they are relentless time and time again. I mean, out of the 6 stocks taken, I think 4 of them were taken via forward air, so a very common kill confirm for Connor.
Yeah, very common indeed. We've got quite a few, questions about those forward airs and the aggression that was in that last one. And we can ask Connor Sanders about it in just a couple minutes. We're going to get an interview with them, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back on EGFC with an interview with Mississippi State.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome back for our interview of the day, my last part at least, but then, Kilomiles is keeping the miles going, no pun intended. Anyway, we're here with Connor Sanders. Mississippi State University are going to walk away with a win that at the beginning, was very close neck and neck, but in the final series, the last two, especially with Connor and Yosefu closing it out, the gap continued to grow and turn into a win. So, Connor, a very simple question, obviously, moving in from last week, you guys lose in the 5th and final series of the game. You come in here, you immediately lose game 1, and then things get shaky again around game 3. Was there any performance in terms of fixing your mental forward, or just kind of, sticking to your tried and true, sticking to what you knew to constantly kind of find these clutches the end?
I would say that the biggest swap was there really wasn't one. If I'm being honest with you, we know that like we're pretty much a lock for playoffs, no matter who we really lose to, and that's kind of what we're looking for. And so like we are not trying to stress out about any of the regular season matches. We're just like win if you can, and if not, like it's no big deal. We've kind of created enough of a gap to where we feel pretty confident that it's going to be hard to keep us out of the playoffs at this point. And so we're just kind of keeping our eyes towards that, and every extra win we get is just kind of icing on the cake.
Yeah, it certainly is. And speaking of icing on the cake, the very last ingredient, I had a question about your play style towards the end. It really felt like you were, feeling out your opponent, and then you got a lock on them, and you just started schmooping. You were going in hard. Like, how would you describe your own play style?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I play normally. It's a little harder to do offline, or online, I mean, like getting a read and being able to execute on that kind of stuff. It's a lot more set play oriented, especially for most of the characters that I've faced in the EGF. But when I find a character that kind of has to come to me in some scenarios, it makes me be able to actually exploit like their weaknesses a little bit better. So once I got the read, I just kind of get to have fun and just hang out in a VC and just laugh about what I was doing.
Yeah, definitely so. So I want to ask as well, correct me if I'm wrong, was this Miso's EGFC debut?
He's played one other one, and so he's like super new. He's been playing for like 8 months, but he's been rising really, really fast for us. He'll definitely be like a mainstay for our playoff team. He's getting better every single week, so we're just like trying to get him a little more time whenever he's available to come play for us for the EGF.
That was a perfect answer. I was going to ask, moving into possibly playoffs, like you said, you guys, your win-loss is pretty solid moving forward. You've got a really good chance at making playoffs. Around then, are you going to kind of shorten the list of your 15-man roster, or do you think you're going to continue to kind of bring in these
without giving too much? Yeah, without giving too much away, because like obviously things can change depending on how good certain players perform in our tournaments here and the stuff that they do offline when they travel. This will probably be pretty much the standard for like our best roster. We do obviously like it's pretty. I know everyone knows that we have like a massive roster, and we're just like kind of rotating guys in and out. But for this match specifically, we had already lost to them once. We know how good they are, so we were like, let's try to get our best players together if we can. And so we did that, and obviously we came out with a win. And we kind of expect to come out with a win anytime we put our best roster together. And so like this is probably like what you'll see from us most likely throughout all of playoffs, especially if it's offline, because if we can get everybody into one place, that would be preferable. And all of these guys are so talented offline, so I would feel very confident if it was the same 5 or 6. So we had El Jefe in reserves in case we wanted to bring him out for a specific matchup. And if we had that specific 6-man team, I don't think we're really going to lose to anybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, yeah, strong statement to make right there, and I can only feel the momentum as you're picking up. I mean, like you said, I feel like with the gap you've built, it's not a bad strategy at all to just sort of feel things out as going towards the playoffs. And overall, I just wish you the best of luck going forward. But for now, just thank you so much for doing this interview with us.
Yes, thank you guys so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And like Killamile said, folks, that's going to bring this interview to a wrap. I know we've got 4 more games coming up next tonight. So we've got 3 more games coming up down the line. Unfortunately, this was my last one for the evening. It's been a pleasure. I love all you guys, and I love getting to do this. One of my favorite gigs of the week. So thank you everybody so much for watching me. But stick around. There's so much Smash left to be played. They'll be right back after this break. They're going to get a couple more teams ready, and there'll be some more Smash action coming to you in just a bit. We'll see you then.